Hello, readers. Our next book of the day is titled Those Shoes, written by Maribeth Boltz, illustrated by Noah Z. Jones. Those Shoes. Remember, always at the beginning, think about what we notice about the title, the setting, what's happening in the pictures, and think about a prediction. Start thinking about what you think the story might be about. Those shoes. Buy these shoes. I have dreams about those shoes. Black high tops, 2 white stripes. Grandma, I want them. There's no room for want around here, just need, Grandma says. And what you need are new boots for winter. What do you notice? Brandon T. comes to school in those shoes. He says he's the faster runner now, not me. I was always the fastest before those shoes came along. Nate comes to school in those shoes. Antonio and I count how many times Nate goes to the bathroom. 7 times in one day, just so he can walk up and down the hall real slow. Why would he do that? Next, Alan, Jacoby, and Terrence each have a pair. What are you noticing? What's going on? Everybody want these shoes. Those shoes. Then one day in the middle of kickball, one of my shoes comes apart. Looks like you could use a new pair, Jeremy, Mr. Elfry, the guidance counselor, says. He brings out a box of shoes and other stuff he has for kids who need things. He helps me find the only shoes that are my size, Velcro, like the ones my little cousin. Looks like you could use a new pair, Jeremy, Mr. Elfry, the guidance counselor, says. He brings out a box of shoes and other stuff he has for kids who need things. He helps me find the only shoes that are my size, Velcro, like the ones my little cousin Marshall wears. They have an animal on them from a cartoon I don't think any kid has ever watched. What do you think? What are you thinking? When I come back to the classroom, Alan Jacoby takes one look at my Mr. Elfry shoes and laughs, and so do Terrence, Brandon T., and everyone else. The only kid not laughing is Antonio Parker. At home, Grandma says, "How kind of Mr. Elfry." I nod and turn my back. I'm not going to cry about my dumb shoes. But when I'm writing my spelling words later, every word looks like the word shoes, and my grip is so tight on my pencil, I think it might burst. So let's think here. What do you notice? What are you feeling? What are you thinking? And then, have you ever felt like him in the way he's holding his pencil? Grip so tight, what do you think that means? On Saturday, Grandma says, "Let's check out those shoes you're wanting so much. I got a little bit of money set aside. Might be enough. You never know." That's promising. At the shoe store, Grandma turns those shoes over so she can check the price. When she sees it, she sits down heavy. What? Maybe they wrote it down wrong, I say. And Grandma just shakes her head. What's going on, guys? Why would she sit down so heavy? She seems a little disappointed. What's she disappointed about? And I love how he comforts his grandma. You can show that by his hand on her shoulder. His shoulders show concern. Then I remembered the thrift shops. What if there's a rich kid who outgrew his or got 2 pairs for Christmas and had to give one of them away? We ride the bus to the first thrift shop. Black cowboy boots, pink slippers, sandals, high heels, every kind of shoes except the ones I want. We ride the bus to the second thrift shop. Not a pair of those shoes in sight. Around the corner is the third thrift shop. I see something in the window. What do you think? Black shoes with 2 white stripes, high tops, perfect shape, $2.50. Those shoes. So let's go back. We really didn't see a cost on here, did we? We didn't see an actual dollar amount. But if we think about cost of shoes in our schema, we know shoes are pretty costly, really expensive. And then they found a pair for $2.50, and they're the ones he loves at a thrift shop. Feel that excitement? My heart is pounding hard as I take off my shoes and hitch up my baggy socks. How exciting, Grandma says. What size are they? I shove my foot into the first shoe, curling my toes to get my heel in. I don't know, but I think they fit. Grandma kneels on the floor and feels for my toes at the end of the shoe. Oh, Jeremy, she says, I can't spend good money on shoes that don't fit. I pull the other shoe on and try to walk around. They're okay, I say, holding my breath and praying that my toes will fall off right then and there. But my toes don't fall off. I buy them anyway with my own money, and I squeeze them on and limp to the bus stop. Why is he limping? What do you do? At home a few days later, Grandma puts a new pair of snow boots in my closet and doesn't say a word about my 2 big feet shuffling around in my 2 small shoes. Sometimes shoes stretch, I say. Grandma gives me a hug. Anything you notice? Have you ever worn 2 small shoes before? What happens to our feet? Look at his feet. I check every day, but those shoes don't stretch. I have to wear my Mr. Elfries to school instead. One day during math, I glance at Antonio's shoes. One of them is taped up, and his feet look smaller than mine. After school, I head to the park to think. Antonio is there, the only kid who didn't laugh at my Mr. Elfries shoes. Sounds like a good friend. We shoot baskets. A loose piece of tape on Antonio's shoe smacks the concrete every time he jumps. I think, I'm not going to do it. So remember in our story, see how that italics, that writing changes? So that the character is thinking in their head. So I'm not going to do it. Do what? We leap off the swings. I'm not going to do it. What's he thinking, readers? What would you be thinking? We race from one end of the playground to the other. I'm not going to do it, I say. Do what? Antonio says, breathing hard. Grandma calls me for supper and invites Antonio over too. After supper, he spies my shoes. How come you don't wear them? Antonio asks. I shrug. My hands are sweaty. What's going on with him? I can just feel him wishing those shoes were his. That night, I'm awake for a long time thinking about Antonio. When morning comes, I try on my shoes one last time. Before I can change my mind, the shoes are in my coat. Snow is beginning to fall as I run across the street to Antonio's apartment. I put the shoes in front of his door and push the doorbell and run. What, boys and girls, would he do? Aw. At school, Antonio is smiling big in his brand new shoes. I feel happy when I look at his face and mad when I look at my Mr. Elfry shoes. But later, when it's time for recess, something happens. Everywhere, there's snow. Leave your shoes in the hall and change into your boots, the teacher announces. Leave your shoes in the hall. It's then I remember what I have in my backpack. New boots. New black boots that no kid has ever worn before. Standing in line to go to recess, Antonio leans forward and says, "Thanks." I smile and give him a nudge. Let's race. Those shoes.